A very good morning to everyone, and thank you for tuning into the Bulletin on this early summer Sunday, winter Sunday morning, the 29th of June 2025. Yeah, it's been quite cold this past few days, especially in the mornings, with a nice little wind chill factor there. Yeah, listen to the club station at the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which is operated today from the shack of ZS6STN. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone on frequency. The club bulletins are broadcast every Sunday morning at 8:45 on local time on the following frequencies: 145.700 megahertz FM in the 2-meter band, and that were relayed this morning by yours truly as well at 7.115 megahertz low side band, 40-meter band. This is a bulletin for today: club birthdays, club news, general ham radio news, special topic of interest. Unfortunately today I haven't managed to do anything on special topic of interest, but never mind. Call-in soft shops on 40 meters and 2 meters. So what I would like to do this morning, just let's have a look at the birthday list. So the birthday list I've got currently, I know there's one or two people from the last RA missing, but it is one of those things. This past week, let's look at the past week quickly. 36 BMI, Henning Buitendach, that was on the 26th. ZS6 XPD, Peter Dysel on the 26th as well. We've had ZS6 Victor Tango, Johan Swanepoel on the 27th. And this coming week we've got ZR6 Kilo Whiskey Charlie, Kevin Clark on the 7th. And then I think that's all for this coming week. So yeah, congratulations to all of those, and hope you have many, many more. So let's continue with let's continue this morning. Maybe someone can come back a little bit later with any club news. So in the news today, AMSAT SA response to AMSAT DR request for expression of interest and Secunda AL Pico Balloon project. And stay tuned for more information at other interest of items news. What I'd like to do is just, I've been receiving some emails from ICASA in connection with licensing. So I just want to read to you what I've received from ICASA Licensing Department. It says, Dear licensee, at the end of March 2025, a notification was sent by email to you, prompting you to submit a renewal application on the authority's online system for your radio frequency spectrum licenses. It is noted that you have not submitted a renewal application on your licenses. Please note that all licenses, and this is very important, please note that all licenses not renewed by the 1st of July 2025 will be expired, and any assigned radio frequency spectrum will be released for reassigned to other prospective applicants. Please also reply to this email should the license be cancelled. So, as you all know, I'm handing everything over to Rassi Erasmus, who's taken over all the licensing functions, and I'm hoping to do that this coming week, but unfortunately we're still waiting for licenses from the last RAE. So once we've received all the licenses from the last RAE from CASA, then everything will be handed over to Rassi to continue with this thing. So guys, if you're out there and you haven't paid your license or things like that, please make sure that you pay your license before the 1st. And the 1st of July, otherwise your license will be cancelled. It's important to keep proof of payment, so if anything does happen, at least you have a proof of payment, and then you can go back to your CASA and get the thing sorted out at the end of the day. Okay, so let's move on. So the July 2025 Radio ZS, the July 2025 issue of Radio ZS will be available for download this evening. Visit https://mysrl.org.za and look under the news tab. We look at repeaters. Your friends in high places sometimes very quiet. What is antenna polarization and why does it matter? The 2025 IRE-HF World Championship contest takes place on the second weekend of July, and we are looking for operators for ZS9HQ, both CW and phone operators. In the museum column, we look at John Loggy 5 experiment, and more on this issue. Get the SRL News Bulletin by email. The SRL Secretary has set up a mailing list on groups.io for the distribution of weekly SRL News Bulletins and the SRL Communication Council to members. The initial invitation was sent out on the 12th of May to 1,569 email addresses. On Thursday, 5th of June, the Secretary set out another invitation to join the mailing list. To date, 502 members have responded on receiving the weekly SRL News Bulletins via email. The other 1,067 members, please look in your inbox or spam folder for the invitation. You can subscribe by sending an email to SRL Communications plus subscribe at groups.io. Okay, call for AMSAT SA Space Symposium paper. AMSAT SA has announced that the 2025 Space Symposium will be held on Saturday, 2nd of August 2025, and has issued a call for papers. The theme of the symposium is Embracing 68 Years of Space Science Innovation in Amateur Radio. Papers are invited, covering all topics of space science and communication, impacting and enhancing the amateur radio experience from the technical to operations aspect. Presentations are typically 30 minutes with a 10-minute Q&A. Send proposals in MS Word to admin@amsatsa.org.za by Monday the 7th of July 2025. To enable the widest potential audience to take part, the symposium will be held online on the WebEx platform. Sponsorship opportunities are available. Send an email to admin@amsatsa.org.za for details. Next topic, AMSAT SA response to AMSAT DL request for expressions of interest. AMSAT DL, which is Germany by the way, in conjunction with the European Space Agency ESA, invite AMSAT SA organizations to participate in their Future Geo initiative. AMSAT SA on Friday last week responded to the AMSAT DL with some interesting ideas. For the past few Monday evening discussions were held on the AMSAT SA WebEx video conference platform, resulting in interesting proposals. Besides the communication that an uplink on the 4.7 gigahertz be considered, in addition to the current OSCAR frequencies to increase availability, bandwidth, the proposal also includes an innovative system that will operate on a similar basis as Echolink, but on the proposed new geostation's amateur satellite. Currently, some development has started of which the outcome will be presented at the AMSAT SA Space Symposium to be held on Saturday, 2nd of August. Another AMSAT SA proposal is a ground-based system to link LEO satellites with the new GEO satellites that will give repeater users access to the GEO satellites and other amateurs operating within its footprint. The ESA and AMSAT DSA initiative is a direct response to increasing global interest in amateur satellite communications and aims to inspire new generations through access-based amateur radio platforms. You can follow the development on www.amsat.org.za. The Secunda Amateur Radio Club Pico Balloon Project. The Secunda Amateur Radio Club ZS6STN is proud to announce a series of 12 commemorative Pico balloon launches. The first one on Saturday, 24th of May 2025 from the Tuchard Model Aircraft Club. These launches form part of the 100-year centenary celebrations of the South African Radio League, SARL, founded in May 1925. The project also pays tribute to more than a decade of BARCAR, which is balloon-carried amateur radio, and honors the individuals who contribute to its success since its inception. The first BARCAR event took place over 12 years ago, and the idea itself dates to the late 1970s, when Hans ZS6AKV laid the foundation for amateur radio ballooning in South Africa. Each Pico balloon will commemorate one of the individuals who made a signed contribution to BARCAR. The target launch window runs from the 24th May to the 2nd Saturday in October 2025. The balloons are transmitting the WSPR on dial 14.09560 MHz and or 14.9578 MHz. ZS6SRC-21 Stuart was launched at 9:30 on Saturday, 7th of June 2025. night on Wednesday, 25th of June, it completed its first trip around the world. At present, it is southwest of Madagascar on its second trip around the world and has traveled 42,412 kilometers. Some interesting facts about Pico Stewart. At 900 Central African time on 9th of June, the Pico achieved a speed of 289 kilometers an hour, and at 2040 Central African time on Friday the 20th of June, Stewart achieved its highest altitude of 12,420. At 12:50 Central African time on the 22nd of June, a minimum temperature was minus 31 degrees Celsius at a height of 12,220 meters. And at 8:30 Central African time on 26th of June, the Pico had traveled 3,566 kilometers overnight. ZS6STN Tiffany was launched at 11:16 Central African time on Monday the 16th of June 2025. Tiffany has traveled 17,929 kilometers, and at 1:36 Central African time on 24th of June was traveling at 321 kilometers an hour. On 24th of June, the longest distance traveled overnight was measured at 01:26 Central African time at 3,620 kilometers. At 23:46 Central African time, Tiffany reached 11,740 meters above the ground. And at 23:56 Central African time, the lowest temperature was measured at minus 30 degrees Celsius. Other Pico balloon news is that LU-7 Delta Zulu Victor -1 Pico is close to entering Namibian airspace, close to South African border. It could turn south to cross South Africa. See if you can decode and spot this one also. The Eden Amateur Radio Club in Georgia announced that they will launch a Pico balloon today, Sunday the 29th of June, weather permitting. This Pico balloon will be carrying a WSPR beacon transmitting on 28.126 megahertz. Tell me about that. The goal is to achieve a long-duration flight and circumnavigate the globe multiple times before the mission ends. The WSPR payload will transmit every 10 minutes using a call sign ZS1ERZ. Thanks to Stewart ZR1 Whiskey Tango for his work with this balloon. Okay, contest news. The 2025 RUHF World Championship begins on 1200 UTC on Saturday the 12th of July and runs through to 11:59 UTC on Sunday the 13th of July. Activities take place on 150, 80, 40, 20, 15 and 10 meters, and both phone and CW may be used. All stations send a signal report and ITU zone. For South Africa, that is Zone 57. Headquarter stations operated by RAU National Society send the abbreviation of the society instead of the zone. ZS9HQ sends SARL. Stations operated by the RA Administrative Council and 3 RA Regions Executive Committee send AC, R1, R2 and R3 as applicable. The rules allow for 6 stations to be active on SSB and 6 stations to be active on CW during the contest. ZS9HQ SSB on 10 meters and ZS9HQ CW on 10 meters. And so for each band, if you want to be part of the ZS9HQ team for the 2025 RAHF Champions, contact the contest working group and tell them which band and mode you'd like to operate. Send an email to contest@sarl.org.za. Okay, propagation report, Hannes Katia, ZS6STN. Reports that low solar activities are going to continue during this week. There are currently 6 sunspot regions and simple to slightly complex magnetic configurations visible. There is a high probability for Class C solar flares and a low probability for M-class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the expected effective sunspot number for the week will be around 80. The 30 to 15 meter bands may provide some fun. Please visit the website spaceweather.sansa.org.za for further information. Okay, and finally, just some diary of some events. Today, the ham radio in Friedrichshafen and the RL Field Day. The 30th of June, the end of the SRL financial year. 1st July, the start of the SRL financial year. 5th of July, the SRL Newbie QSO party. There is for SRK club meeting and there is 6 PTA flea market. 6th July, World Rural Development Day and the ZS5 QSO parties. 7 July, closing date for AMZSA paper proposals. 12th and 13th July, RAU HF Championship. Okay, that concludes the main bulletin of the South African Radio League this morning. I would just like to say thanks to everyone there, and this morning, so let's call this the end of the bulletin. So thank you very much for all those that called in this morning, and until next weekend, thank you very much. I hope you will get this recorded, and those that have missed